You're welcome to my Father Taught Me series, Volume 3, The Perfect Will of the Most High and Salvation. Series 9, titled Deceits and Lies, Viruses of the Twins, Ignorance and Corruption, Diseased World. Beloved brethren, deceits and lies are the viruses of the twins imposed by Babylon to infest the world as the perfect host, to produce the diseases of the twins called ignorance and corruption, in line with the new world order of Babylon on earth. As usual, let us do a quick breakdown of selected keywords strictly in the context of this presentation to help in our understanding of the above title. The words: number 1, twins; number 2, viruses; number 3, ignorance; number 4, corruption. Starting from the word twins, something containing or consisting of two matching or corresponding parts, forming or being one of a pair born at one birth. The viruses of deceits and lies born at one birth are the twins activated by Babylon in the human host to produce the diseases of ignorance and corruption. The corruption that lead us to forsake the truth, which processes break the commandments of the Most High, and we die in spirit. Death being from the penalty, which are the consequences of breaking the commandments of the Most High, according to the book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 3. But of the fruit of the tree, which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So that's the Bible portion that explains the death being from the penalty, which are the consequences of breaking the commandments of the Most High. So number 2, viruses. A virus is an infectious microbe consisting of a segment of nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protein coat. Viruses cannot replicate alone. Instead, they must infect cells and use components of the host cell to make copies of itself. The spiritual name for virus in this book context is sin. For a virus to be active, it needs a host, the host being humans. For any sin to be activated in humans, it needs the transmutation components of the viruses of deceits and lies in a host to produce the diseases of ignorance and corruption, resulting into sin. Let us explain further the difference between the viruses of lies and deceits. Lies are the opposite of truth in spirit. Truth is the clean commandment of the Most High in spirit. But the infection of the virus of deceit precedes that of lies in humans, to infect us through falsehood of lies and deceiving us into a perfect host for the hidden enterprises of the twin viruses. Once the viruses are activated in us, it produces the diseases of ignorance and corruption. Find a simplified corroborating example that can help us understand better the above spiritual phenomenon which are based on motives of the heart. This explanation below was inadvertently in a related illustrative clip by someone trying to differentiate deceits from lies. So it's a simple allegory. I tell you, John threatened to kill Jack. It is the truth, no lie. You would think John is the bad guy, but John only made the threat after Jack raped John's daughter, held John's family ransom, and threatened to kill John's entire family if the ransom isn't paid. I can deceive you without lying, and rightly, you can't even call me a liar. I can also deceive you with lies if need be. The point is, you believed wrong, you were misled, betrayed, and played. So that is deceit. So that little explanation by somebody online vividly explained what we were talking about, deceit and the heart of man that plays with words whatsoever. However, it brought about one fact, that deceit is subtle. It was the above complications of deceits and lies existing in most human judgments that made Christ make this statement below using the rule of thumb, if you must judge. Matthew chapter 7 verse 2. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure ye met, it shall be measured to you again. This was the concept of Matthew chapter 7 verse 1. Judge not, that ye be not judged. Now that we understand the meaning of deceit, we cannot imagine deceits and lies as viruses of the twins that infected Eve and Adam with regards to the word deceit or beguiled. Genesis chapter 3 verse 13. And the Most High said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Eve became the first human host, chosen by the serpent to receive the first viruses of deceits and lies. The serpent had found in Eve, that's in the Garden of Eden, that's in the field of the Garden of Eden, take note of that, a perfect host in whom the serpent needed to activate the twin viruses of deceits and lies into the diseases known as the twins of ignorance and corruption. The serpent, the originator of the twin viruses, craftily and quickly administered to Eve the viruses of the twins of deceits and lies. The activation of the viruses resulted into the communicable twin diseases of ignorance and corruption with which Eve infected Adam, for which both paid the ultimate penalty of death according to the truth of the commandment of the Most High. Now, number 3, ignorance. The viruses of deceits and lies can only thrive in the presence of the disease of ignorance and corruption. Eve was a victim of the motives of deceits and lies of the serpent, and out of ignorance she got corrupted and thus infected Adam also unto death penalty. Ignorance is a lack of knowledge, understanding, or education, the state of being ignorant. Ignorance can appear in 3 dimensions. Factual ignorance, that's absence of knowledge of some facts. Then object ignorance, lack of acquaintance with some objects. Then technical ignorance, absence of knowledge of how to do something. The primary cause of ignorance is ego. People with obsessed ego are self-centered, the anti-commandments of the Most High. They believe that the world revolves around them and they are at the center of everything. They believe that they deserve all the attention, adulation, and respect from everyone else. Ignorance is lack of experience, lack of the knowledge and understanding derived from experience. Also, ignorance is unenlightenment. Ignorance is a disease that begets ego, whereas ego is an inflated opinion of oneself, while the opposite of ego is humility, humbleness, and modesty. Ignorance usually can cause harm to oneself or others. Ignorance causes people to dismiss scientific facts as hoax, believing in conspiracy theories with neither spiritual proofs nor any tangible proofs of conviction, taking the word of a contrary head knowledge guru, or those we call learned, only as truth, and always accepting rumor as truth, and thereby gullible to real hoaxes. Ignorance maintains ancient egos without tangible facts, not to even talk of tangible truth. The cure for ignorance is the knowledge of the word of the Most High and His commandments. Let's check this in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. It is from this wisdom of the words of the Most High that Christ made this prayer concerning the prevailing diseases of ignorance and corruption at His crucifixion. That's stated in the book of Luke, chapter 23, verse 34. Then said Christ, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, and departed His raiment and cast lots. The solvent and antidote of ignorance is in the clarity of the sound reasoning of the gospel of Christ in truth and in spirit. Now, item 4 is corruption. The diseases of the twins of corruption and ignorance. Eve was ignorantly deceived against the commandments of the Most High to present her body as a host to the viruses of deceit and lies, resulting in the sin which penalty, according to the commandments of the Most High, was death. The twin viruses of deceit and lies transmuted into the emerged diseases of corruption and ignorance. And most unfortunately, these have infected all parties in either sides of the world today. Just as with Eve and Adam, so it is with the world of today, starting from the nucleus of the family, the society, the communities, nations, continents, and the world from whichever sides of the divide. The consequences of ignorance and corruption result in human self-destruct, called by another smart name of the world of Babylon as mutually assured destruction in the roulette games of death, RGD, roulette games of death, which form the elements of individual and collective covenant of agreement by choice, known as mutually assured destruction deterrent, which marred mutually assured destruction were induced by the infections of the above stated twin diseases of ignorance and corruption that dwell in the hearts of the people of the world. Twins viruses of deceits and lies, ignorance and corruption are eating up the world. The above stated viruses of the twins have infected almost every soul in the world today, with the exception of the elects of the Most High only. The selects who have not bowed down to the Baal, the mammon of the world of Babylon. The elects who have, in diverse occasions and conditions, have overcome and have shown to the world order of Babylon and the serpent that their ultimate allegiance and love is to the Most High, demonstrating this love through the righteousness of Christ, and by avoiding anything that will break the commandments of the Most High in all ramifications, and have walked after the righteousness of Christ only. It is the righteousness of Christ that is known to hold the only known antidote to the viruses of deceits and lies, and also against the diseases of ignorance and corruption of humanity, which antidote doubles as the only potential powers in the spirit of keeping the commandments of the Most High, Christ. And Christ had demonstrated before the world of his immunity to these viruses of deceits and lies and the diseases of ignorance and corruption through his acts of obedience to the commandments of the Most High, even to the last jot of the law. As it is written, this antidote contains a one-time all-immunity cure for all viruses of derivative sins. Brothers and sisters of the world, let it be clearly understood that keeping the commandments of the Most High is the highest love, acceptable and presentable before the Most High. It is this love, derivable from repentance, that produces a sweet savour unto the Most High. According to the book of Genesis, chapter 8, verse 21, and the Most High smelled a sweet savour, and the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground anymore for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite anymore everything living as I have done. This most powerful antidote was passed to all the followers and believers of Christ, representing the ultimate and the only acceptable love desired by the Most High from humanity. It was out of ignorance, through the deceits and corrupted thoughts by the serpent, which played Eve and Adam into breaking the commandments of the Most High, and they died. These four components of deceits, lies, ignorance, and corruption, therefore, are the deadliest viruses and diseases of compromise that is eating up the society and the world today. These viruses and diseases constitute the serpents in the hearts of humanity, responsible to making us break the commandments of the Most High in the world of Babylon order. The Babylon order, which is now drunk with the iniquity of her sins, in the unfortunate world order we have found ourselves in the present generation. These incubated viruses are in the form of deceits and brainwashing unto the destruction known as MAD, mutually assured destruction. This destruction is at individual and collective levels, starting from the nucleus of the family, the society, and the world at large. These viruses/diseases have no regards for the following. 1. The sanctity and the love of the commandments of the Most High under the summary caption of Matthew chapter 22, verse 37, 39 to 40. Christ said unto him, that's talking about love, thou shalt love the Most High, thy Maker, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. The above is the summary of the commandments of the Most High in question, which commandments of the Most High are absolutely beyond the realms of the diseases of ignorance and corruption, or on the scales of the two sides of the divide. The commandments of the Most High is an incorruptible standard of the stone described by Christ in Matthew chapter 21 verse 44. And this allegory goes, and whosoever shall fall on this stone shall be broken, that is in repentance. But on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder without repentance in hell. The diseases of ignorance and corruption exist in all of us outside Christ, on the two sides of the divide. Ignorance or corruption infect essentially whoever at both sides break the commandments of the Most High. Every one of us have inherent tendencies of ignorance or corruption that lead us to the evil of breaking the commandments of the Most High. It is, however, important for us to have a clear understanding of the unbendable, immutable commandments of the Most High, as well as the reward, penalty, and the administration of justice of the Most High at an appointed time. Sometimes, during temptations and in fear, we are cajoled to do the unthinkable, as we are beguiled to shift our ground of righteousness and succumb to be used for the works of unrighteousness, including being the foot soldiers of the paying masters of Babylon and the world order. We have a powerful weapon found only in the righteousness of Christ, who encouraged us to fear not, according to the book of Matthew chapter 10 verse 28. And it goes, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. The Christ in whose wisdom we become wise as serpents and harmless as doves. In other words, we shall not be afraid of what man can do to our flesh, because our Messiah has overcome all temptations, trials, and tribulations with his unfailing promise of hope, as in the book of John, chapter 16, verse 33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Every justification of any action of humanity must be weighed inwardly against the universal commandments of the Most High, either in affirmative of the rules of the commandments of the Most High, or risk breaking the rules, which penalty is death. Surely, everyone who freely and unrepentantly breaks the law by his or her choice of options shall face the non-negotiable penalty of the law, as with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. That is the double-edged sword of the truth of the word of the Most High. Nonetheless, the corrupted disease of ignorance, which undermines the consequences of corruption as it relates to the commandments of the Most High, ignorance in this context, meaning the disease of the lack of the knowledge of the Most High and his commandments, which commandments once broken result in recipes for human disasters and destructions. Ignorance makes us accept the sweetness of the corruption of deceits administered by the serpent to make us consciously forget and reject the knowledge of the bitter truth of the commandments of the Most High as related to the gift of salvation, which gift is restricted to the righteousness of Christ only. This was stated in the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, that is ignorance. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject you from being priest for me, because you have forgotten the law of your Creator, the Most High. I also will forget your children. Diseases of ignorance and corruption are the infections that prevent victims from seeking the knowledge and consciousness of the commandments of the Most High. The diseases of ignorance and corruption have nothing to do with lack of formal education, because the knowledge of the Most High and the commandments of the Most High are the ultimate life-driven foundation for a complete education. The elites, out of ignorance of the commandments of the Most High, call this phenomenon the law of nature, and so on. It's important to note that the knowledge of the commandments of the Most High is what the Most High breathed into our nostrils to make us a living soul, the soul that makes a man human and different from animals. This soul that only the Most High giveth and only Him can take back, according to Job, in the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 21, and said, Naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Most High gave, and the Most High hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Most High. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Most High formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Which living soul? Which living soul differentiated us from the beasts of the field, the beasts of whom the world, in confusion and in lack of appropriate description, will call the way of nature. For they have not the knowledge of the commandments of the Most High to guide them away from dropping so low into the ways of the beasts. Psalms 73, verse 22. So foolish was I, and ignorant I was as a beast before thee. Therefore, our former brilliant education without the knowledge of the commandment of the Most High will always be used by the spirit of the serpent in us as a virus in the production of the atomic bomb of destruction to destroy the world. Even the destruction caused by the likes of the World War I and II, including biological warfare of the likes of COVID-19. Whereas an education rooted in the fear and keeping of the commandments of the Most High will rather and always produce the atomic bomb of love, which atomic bomb of love was detonated by Christ in about 2,000 years ago to the world as antidote to the viruses of ignorance and corruption. Antidotes to keep the world together in the safety and love of the Most High, that the world may benefit from the glorious effects of His commandments to the souls of humanity as expressed by David in the book of Psalms 119, 97 to 104. And it reads, it's a beautiful read. Oh, how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Though through thy commandments hast made me wiser than mine enemies, for they are ever with me. I have more understanding than all my teachers, for thy testimonies are my meditation. I understand more than the ancients, because I keep thy precepts. I have refrained my feet from every evil way, that I might keep thy word. I have not departed from thy judgments, for thou hast taught me. How sweet are thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. The above powerful derivatives are the attributes of the most reliable antidote against the viruses of ignorance and corruption. Ignorance leads to presumptuous sins of corruption of the commandments of the Most High. It's like what happened in the Garden of Eden. The Most High had said to Adam, "Don't eat nor touch the fruit in the midst of the Garden of Eden." That's the book of Genesis 3 and verse 3, repeated again. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High has said, "Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die." The first part of the commandment was, "Ye shall not eat of it." Second part says, "Neither shall ye touch it." And you have to touch it before you can eat of it. Furthermore, it is the eating of the fruit that attracted the penalty of death, whereas the touching of the fruit against the given commandment of the Most High can be classified under presumptuous sins. Even though the commandments of the Most High did not prescribe death for touching the fruit, but when we are infected by the diseases of ignorance and corruption, we presumptuously touch the fruit against the commandments of the Most High because of our educated considerations in our hearts that death was not specified for touching the fruit. That was why the book of James made this point in the book of James chapter 2 verse 10 to 12. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. For he that said, "Do not commit adultery," said also, "Do not kill." Now, if thou commit no adultery, that's good. Yet, if thou kill, thou art become a transgressor of the law. So speak ye, and so do, as they that shall be judged by the law of liberty. Kindly join me to sing along the soul-touching song of the beauty of the commandments of the Most High, according to the book of Psalms 119, verse 1 to 8. Blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of the Most High. Blessed are they that keep his testimonies and that seek him with the whole heart. They also do no iniquity, they walk in his ways. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. Oh, that my ways were directed to keep thy statutes. Then shall I not be ashamed when I have respect unto all thy commandments. I will praise thee with uprightness of heart when I shall have learned thy righteousness. I will keep thy statutes, oh, forsake me not utterly. May the Most High deliver us from twins, viruses of deceits and lies, and the diseases of ignorance and corruption. Remain blessed forever. My name is Steve Emmanuel Mojugbe, a messenger, an author, a Nigerian, MFTMS series.com. Copyrights reserved. Thank you for listening and remain blessed.